In our headlines this morning, Governor Obiano announces third phase of Community Choose Your Project initiative will be advertised this week. 25,000 persons to work as INEC ad hoc staff in the state. Federal government saves over 206 billion naira by closing financial leakages. Italy deadlocks with Netherlands, Germany on rescued 49 migrants. Good morning and welcome to the news. My name is Nonye Nwokoye. The third phase of Governor Willie Obiano's Community Choose Your Project initiative will be advertised later this week. Governor Obiano gave the hint when his thank you train stormed Ayamelum and Oyi Council areas. A Government House correspondent Ejike Abana reports that communities, ABGA faithful and candidates stand out in their numbers to welcome the governor, who came to show gratitude to them for returning him for a second term of 4 years.
Community Primary School, Anako, and Oyi Local Government Secretariat, Nteje, was a beehive of activities with a crowd that surged the venues. Addressing the mammoth crowd, Governor Obiano, who said he will not relent in delivering more projects across the state, while pointing out that ABGA is the only platform that knows the needs of the masses and dedicated to its promises, assured that only ABGA candidates can deliver on their promises. All through. The national chairman of ABGA, Chief Victor Oye, said that because ABGA already has a serving governor, voting for other parties may form a distraction to him, adding that the party, which is already traversing parts of the country, is a better platform for good governance.
Governor by the time Governor Willie Obiano teacher about 2022, even Anambra need about 905 projects. 905 projects. It's Katanga across Anambra need. If you know what the governor will do, since the Anambra Bidolo, before we go to the governor of Nigeria.
The Commissioner for Works, Engineer Marcel Ifejofo, and the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Greg Obi, while enumerating some of the governor's infrastructural projects in the areas visited, urged Anambra to remove all bumps on roads across the state and harped on the need to flood all elective positions with ABGA candidates to keep the governor working.
Directed that I lose palliative from Agule Junction. I don't know when they claim about federal government. Why not lose that? His Excellency the Governor of Anambra State. The contractor is suggest. His Excellency is not before a war. No, you have connect the whole of Mabala. So that he's here by Pueba.
I want to follow His Excellency is asking to make ordinary easy in our world. Because from the beginning of time, we were ever fully so people mean to put that in the next 3 years, each community invested 100 million naira in community projects. Only reason, calling the ACA.
The Transition Committee Chairman of Ayamelum and Oyi Council areas, Barrister Ben Onyabo and Engineer Nnamdi Nwadiobu, respectively said that the tour, which is traditional with the governor, is well appreciated by communities in the local government areas. Stakeholders in the area, including Barrister Anthony Ifanya, Barrister Ikechukwu Onyabo, Dr. Paul Odenigbo, Mr. Uchenna Okafo, among others, called on eligible voters who are yet to collect their permanent voter cards to do so as it is their only tool to determine their future. The ABGA flags were handed over to the various candidates vying for different elective positions. From Oyi Local Government Secretariat, Nteje, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
Thank you, Ejike. Governor Willie Obiano has directed the contracting firm handling construction of Amansi Ubene Oba Ofemile back to site. The senator representing Anambra Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly and senatorial candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance ABGA for the forthcoming general elections, Chief Victor Ume, disclosed this during his campaign visit to Oka North local government area. Political correspondent Chukwemeka Modelem was there and now reports.
Addressing the people of Obofemile, Senator Ume attributed the development to his personal efforts to give the people a sense of belonging. Chief Ume emphasized that for the past 1 year, he represented Anambra Central Senatorial District. The people have regained all they lost in the past as he has constructed classrooms and renovated dilapidated ones in the area, offered scholarship to 70 persons from 7 local governments that make up Anambra Central, as well as engaged many youths in skill acquisition programs, among others. At the Senate, Senator Ume revealed that he sponsored motions and bills that gave Igbos a sense of belonging in Nigeria. In his remarks, the Transition Committee Chairman, Oka North Local Government Area, Mr. Ferdinand Onwuje, who stated that Anambra Central and the Igbo have felt the impact of quality representation for the past 1 year, Senator Ume has been in the Senate, assured that Oka North will vote massively for ABGA in the coming elections.
When you get in Senate, Bonya Mali Hennemen as Senate. Our business as usual. No egabolo or represent India Anambra or represent Ndibo. Ebu toji na tebulu. Na national otinya ko sogini osaloji.
The member representing Oka North constituency in the State House of Assembly, Prince Boniface Okonkwo, and APGA candidate for Oka North constituency election, Mr. John Nwokoye, added that APGA will not lose any vote in the area, just as the traditional ruler of Obofemile, Igwe Ezekwesili Madaguna, said his people will throw their weight behind APGA.
I will not win in the House of Rep. More money in the House of Assembly. You will go already. What's the noise? Anambra in the Belebama. My work and my wine. But he vote it. Piaka gave us a local. In the hand, you saw. Eba in a bear, any medical. Now, when in the Eba, now, Panina, and Amanda Pepico. Nobody has ever in the hand. Hello.
Senator Ume also visited Ubene and Ubeno communities, where he presented his scorecard to the people and received maximum support from the people of the areas. Senator Ume later presented cash to 11 women from the communities he visited to boost their businesses. From Ubeno, Chukwemeka Modelem, ABS News.
The resident electoral commissioner of the state, Dr. Nkwachuku Oji, says the commission has recruited over 25,000 ad hoc staff that will work with the commission during the 2019 general elections in Anambra State. Dr. Oji disclosed this when he led top officials of the commission, as well as officials of the European Union Election Observation Mission Nigeria 2019, to an advocacy visit to the palace of the traditional ruler of Ekulobia, Igwe Emmanuel Onyeneke. Chibuzo Koye's report is taken from our studio here.
During the visit, The state resident electoral commissioner explained that the advocacy visit was part of the measures mapped out by the commission to reach out to some opinion leaders, traditional rulers, the religious leaders, among others, to sensitize and educate them about the preparedness of the commission in this year's general elections, for them to help in educating their subjects to avoid voter apathy and avoidable mistakes during the elections. Dr. Oji, who noted that Anambra State has the highest number of increased voter registration in the country, as the state moved from 1.9 million in 2015 to about 2.5 million in 2019, urged Anambra to come out en masse to vote for the candidates of their choice during the election, as the commission has set adequate logistics in motion to ensure that the election is free, fair, and credible, as well as reflect the wishes and yearnings of Nigerians.
We are going around to sensitize the people about the upcoming elections and just to introduce them to some of our processes. 2 weeks ago, I'm on a council of traditional rulers. Yeah. So it's just a continuation of what we started doing there. But this time, we decided that we'll go to specific individuals within the state to help us in drumming, support, and encouraging the people to come.
Responding, the traditional ruler of Ekulobia, Igwe Onyeneke, thanked the commission for the visit and promised that he will help to sensitize his people for them to participate actively during the election, and appealed to the commission to conduct a free and fair election, as this year's general elections are crucial to most Nigerians.
We will still invite the other people and relay your messages. We are happy you have done it once in Anambra State. So you are used to the terrain. You are very much used to the terrain. And from what we have heard from you, you are set to do it once more. And the good Lord will be with us. We noticed the increase in registration.
A member of the European Union Election Observation Mission Nigeria 2019, Mr. Henrik Westerby, assured that they will do an unbiased job, but appealed to Nigerians to shun acts that can destabilize the process for the good and betterment of Nigerians, as they have only Nigeria to call their country.
And we are very hopeful and confident that we will have an excellent cooperation. Thank you very much for the warm welcome that you gave us this morning also. We shall be meeting with your subjects also here, talking to people, hearing their opinions about how is indeed the Election Commission performing its tasks. Is it doing what it should do? Does it stay impartial and neutral?
Still on INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has assured of conducive environment for women to participate actively in coming general elections. The state's resident electoral commissioner, Dr. Nkwachuku Oji, gave the assurance during a seminar tagged Mitigating Violence Against Women in the Electoral Process held in Oka. Correspondent Ogochukwu Okeke, who covered the event, now reports.
While highlighting the importance of women exercising their franchise, Dr. Oji described violence against women in election as the major factor that militates against women's participation in the electoral process, noting that they have a duty to stand against violence in the forthcoming general elections. He said that everything needed for the elections are ready, including the recruitment of workers, training of staff and ad hoc staff, supervising officers, as well as training of security agents, and assured in the Anambra of free, fair, and credible elections.
Today's meeting is just to remind ourselves that we have a duty to move beyond violence in elections. Violence generally, because generally violence affects both men and women. But we know that in certain circumstances there are specific types of violence that affect women specifically, in particular.
Also speaking, the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Garuba Omar, represented by AGD Hilary Ndoma, listed pre- and post-election violence as serious challenges that face elections.
Such violence are perpetrated by thugs who are usually recruited by their political gladiators in order to disrupt electoral process, especially when they envisage outright defeat or in areas they consider having low political support.
In his presentation, the State Director, National Orientation Agency, Barrister Charles Nwoji, represented by Head Protocol and Public Affairs, Dr. Dennis Ekemeze, described women as the most critical stakeholders in family affairs and matters affecting society, maintaining that people should handle general elections with utmost sense of patriotism and commitment to eliminate violence against women in the conduct of election. The State Commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, OCA, Commandant Obegeri Obiajolo, represented by Dr. Judith Udemezue, urged women to come out en masse and exercise their franchise and called on INEC to take the voter education exercise to the grassroots level. The event, which was well attended by women, featured question and answer section on challenges facing women at elections. In Oka, Ogochukwu Okeke reporting for ABS News.
The State Chief Judge, Justice Peter Omade, has completed the first quarter of his 2019 jail delivery with Oka prisons, granting bail to 19 inmates of the prisons and declaring one discharged and acquitted. A correspondent, Emmanuel Okonkwo, was there and now completes the story.
Out of the 20 inmates, one was a female brought from the Onitsha prisons. The 20 inmates that regained their freedom at the prisons made it 61 persons that were freed in the first quarter of the 2019 jail delivery court session. Speaking, Justice Umade appreciated those that contributed in making the first quarter outings successful, including the lawyers, magistrates, the press, police, Directorate of Public Prosecution and prison officials. Justice Umade commended the efforts of the Governor Willie Obiano-led administration in improving the state's Ministry of Justice, saying that the ministry was nothing to write home about before the inception of the Obiano government. Saying that Amobia prisons was built in the year 1904, the Chief Judge made a case for its upgrade to meet the needs of jail delivery services, policing, security, and development of all other facets.
Thank you. The controller of the prisons, Anambra State, and also executive of jail, of the other candidates of children who have come and who have assisted, who have all put together with the police, desk. Thank you. Then the official guard, of course, we will do whatever happens to them. Remind them of us that there's a lot of work to be done here, which as an innovation, we have to put hands together, we have to improve the facilities of men that are doing this work.
On his part, the State Controller of Prisons, Barrister Emmanuel Nwakeze, encouraged families and relatives of the inmates that were granted bail to do the needful to ensure the quick release of the prisoners as planned by the Chief Judge.
Doing a good job to humanity, to the entire justice system in Nigeria. One of the interventions that will help to decongest the prison and release those that don't supposed to be here.
The Deputy Chief Registrar, Special Duties, Anambra State Judiciary, Barrister Chinelo Peters, while expressing delight on the outcome of the exercise, advised the freed inmates to be good citizens and turn a new leaf in order to make their freedom permanent. From the Amobia prisons, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
And now to our national news. The Director Integrated Personnel Payroll Information System, Mr. Olufeyinti Olusegun, has said the federal government saved over 206 billion naira in salaries of federal civil servants during the 2017 and 2018 fiscal years. Mr. Olusegun, who made the disclosure in an interview in Abuja yesterday, said this was achieved through blocking financial leakages of ghost workers. He gave the breakdown as 76 billion naira in 2017 and 130 billion naira in 2018, adding that the current administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has helped sustain the policy introduced in 2007. He said the administration, through the offices of Accountant General of the Federation and the Minister of Finance, ensured that all the 512 ministries, departments, and agencies and their 740,000 workforce had been properly streamlined into the IPPICS. The federal government has disclosed that it is working with other oil and gas producers in Africa under the auspices of African Petroleum Producers Organization, APPO, to raise between $1 billion and $2 billion to finance energy projects and boost collaborations among African countries. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Mr. Ibe Kachiku, said APPO members were looking at expanding the role of an existing financing body in the continent, which would be renamed the African Energy Investment Corporation, to undertake the function of energy financing. Also speaking, Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board, Mr. Simbi Wabote, warned that if local content is not encouraged in the African petroleum industry, Europe and the rest of the world would, in the next 20 years, witness a massive influx of people from Africa with its attendant crisis. On his part, Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Mr. Maikanti Baru, said an example of the collaboration can be seen in Nigeria's collaboration with Morocco to construct a gas pipeline that would traverse at least 15 West African countries and connect the existing Europe gas pipeline. According to him, the feasibility study had been concluded and the pre-final investment decision FID Greenfield Optimization Study was currently ongoing. And now foreign news. Italy's Interior Minister Matteo Salvini has said he will allow 49 migrants on board a rescue vessel into the country on condition they will immediately be transferred to the Netherlands. The Sea-Watch 3, a Dutch-registered vessel run by the German non-governmental organization Sea-Watch, rescued the migrants north of the Libyan port of Zuwara on January 19. It entered Italian waters on Friday to seek shelter from rough seas. The Netherlands had turned down the request to accept the migrants, as Dutch authorities said they do not think they are responsible. Sea-Watch lodged a complaint before the European Court of Human Rights. The Italian Prime Minister's office said yesterday it would argue before the court it is up to the Netherlands to deal with the NGO ship and its migrants. Paris Saint-Germain have completed the signing of Argentina midfielder Leandro Paredes on a 4.5-year deal. The French champions announced yesterday the 25-year-old put pen to paper on a contract until 2023 after completing a medical in Qatar. No transfer fee was disclosed, although press reports have put the fee at 47 million euros. The League One leaders were looking to strengthen the midfield ahead of their Champions League last 16 tie against Manchester United, with Marco Verratti sidelined with an ankle injury and Adrien Rabiot frozen out after refusing to sign a new contract. PSG go to Old Trafford in the first leg of that tie on February 12, and they are currently sweating on the fitness of Neymar, who suffered a metatarsal injury last week. And that's just about it on the news. But before we go, remember that you can listen to ABS on our... Remember that you can follow us on news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us at www.facebook.com/absradiotelevision. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. The main points of the news, once again, Governor Obiano has announced third phase of Community Choose Your Project initiative, which will be advertised this week. 25,000 persons are to work as INEC ad hoc staff in the state. Federal government has saved over 206 billion naira by closing financial leakages. And from the foreign scene, Italy has deadlocked with Netherlands, Germany on rescued 49 migrants. And that's just about it on the news for this morning. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Nonya Mokoye. Good morning.